welcome back to Whovian Espresso. This week, to coincide with the new Christmas/winter themed tweet-alongs by Emily Cook on Twitter, I've decided to do reviews of each episodes of the upcoming tweet-alongs. This week's selected episode was Season 10, Episode 3, Thin Ice, which is obviously set around Christmas, winter time at the Frost Fair. In the, I can't remember what year exactly, but I believe it's sort of Victorian period time. Obviously, I'm going to start off with details about the tweet-along. It is going to be tomorrow as of recording, so Saturday the 5th of December at 7 p.m. GMT, and the hashtag, just so you can join in on Twitter, is hashtag the Big Freeze, which is very exciting. You can check out Emily Cook's Twitter account for more details on that. But I am doing this mainly because I wanted to add some more variety in the content for tweet-alongs and stuff. So, although there will be more short stories to come, there is a special Christmas story which I have planned with the working title I'm going to spend my Christmas with a Crinoid, which is sort of just on its first draft at the moment. I'm still kind of I'm nearing the end on it. I'm hoping to get it all done and polished before Christmas, and in 2021 they will hopefully be bigger back with sort of a new take on it, I think, in a more exciting way, I hope, as well, with more news to follow on that front, like, in the following months. So, but let's get into the actual review for this video. Off the bat, Series 10 is actually one of my personal favourite seasons. I really like it as a sort of soft reboot to Doctor Who, especially at this point where it become very lore-induced in Series 8 and 9 after the 50th and everything. It became very focused on Gallifrey and everything, and I do think it maybe got a bit overcomplicated. So it was nice to have a fresh start at this point, I think. It also gave us the most iconic TARDIS team I think we will ever have, of 12, Bill and Nardole, all of whom I honestly adore. This episode is sort of very situated very early on in the series, where I personally think Bill is at her best, although I think she's really strong in the finale as well. So I think this probably has some of her really great scenes for her in this story. I really love all the reactions she has to everything in the Frost Fair, and the whole butterfly, stepping on a butterfly theme, of worrying about time travel and how she could raise her entire history. I thought it was really nice touch to her story. And I think Pearl Mackie gave an incredible performance in the scene where she questions the Doctor on how many people the Doctor has seen killed, and I think that's probably one of her best scenes as a character too. The 12th Doctor is also on fine form here, I think. I love the sort of period costume that he wears in this episode with the top hat and the tie. I think it really looks great for him. I think Peter Capaldi brings some immense weight to the Doctor in this episode, particularly when Bill questions, that in that scene I mentioned earlier, where Bill questions how many people he's seen killed, or if he ever counted. I think that was a really great scene. I think one of his standout scenes, particularly of this series as well. I think the cast of this episode, particularly Kitty, was really nice and likeable. All the orphans and everyone, they were all great. I don't know if this is the right period or not, but I would have maybe liked to have seen the Paternoster gang pop up. It is a pretty crowded story as it is, to be honest, but I think it would have been nice to have seen them again, just sort of catch up on them, because they appeared in Deep Breath and then they never sort of appeared again, and we never really found out what happened to them. So it would have been nice to maybe get some explanations about that, maybe. But I think the portrayal of homelessness and racism in this story was really well done. I think the moment where the Doctor stood up for Bill by punching the racist Lord Sutcliffe, I thought that was a great moment for the Doctor, I think, because it was really nice that he stood up for Bill in this episode. I think the episode is written by Sarah Dollard, who also wrote one of my favourite episodes of Series 9, Face the Raven, which I think this story is probably more light-hearted than Face the Raven. And while I think the writing remains great, I do personally prefer Face the Raven. It's a more emotional story, I think, particularly as it deals mostly with Clara Oswald sort of leaving, I guess. I think this story is structured well. I think I really liked how well it was paced. It never felt dull. I liked how we sort of very swiftly moved on from location to location throughout the story. So from the Frost Fair to the Blacking factory type place to Lord Sutcliffe's manor and back to the Frost Fair for the climax. Talking of locations, I really liked the mix of set pieces and locations in the episode, which I think blend together seamlessly in this episode. I really love the set for the Frost Fair. I felt it looked almost like a real location, honestly. The way they dressed it with all the different stalls and stuff, it really did look really incredible with all the ice looked really good. I love how they'd set it all up with all the different market stalls, the pie stalls, and there's a scene where I think the pie salesman sort of fishing. I thought that was a great moment too. I do think that it's kind of a shame because all these VFX were great, but when it came to the big fish scenes, I think it kind of let it down a bit, because the scene where they're underwater, they can kind of get away with it because it's all bubbly, the water's all grainy and atmospheric. But I think the climax, when the serpent rises up out of the ice, I think it kind of doesn't look particularly tangible, and it kind of sticks out as very obviously CGI to me. Similarly, I think Lord Sutcliffe's death wasn't particularly executed very well, to be honest. I think it could have been done maybe better, because he just sort of falls into a crack in the ground, which I think was kind of a bit of an anticlimax for his character. But he's a very pantomime villain. I think he works in the story. The soundtrack to Series 10 is a bit of an odd one, as it's yet to be properly released. But to be honest, I don't think there's much from Series 10 that sticks out to me, apart from Bill's theme sort of songs from the finale. So I do think a lot of the music wasn't maybe at its best in this episode for Marigold, and at all in this season, to be honest. But I think there are some great motifs for Bill in this episode as well. So that was a really nice... I mean, all the music for Doctor Who has always been very good. It's just that sometimes it just sort of blends into the background. I think that's kind of what happened in Series 10 for me. So yeah, that's basically the music, I think. So in conclusion, I do really like the Christmassy and wintry feel of this episode. I think maybe some of the VFX could maybe have done a bit better, but the set design and the set dressing were all absolutely sublime. Like, honestly, some of these sets are some of the best I think the show has ever had, personally. I really love the look of this episode, the aesthetic. I think 12 and Bill are on fine footing here. They're really started getting into gear. You can tell that Bill Potts is very much sort of coming into her own in this story, standing up to the Doctor. I think it's also a really well-written episode. It sticks out as one of the more memorable episodes of Series 10 to me. I mean, you've got, I think, the first 3 episodes of Season 10, the pilot, followed by Smile and the Thin Ice, I think, and then even Knock Knock and Oxygen, and the first half of Series 10 really are all really strong, a really strong batch of episodes to me. I really like all 6 of those episodes. So I thought I would maybe give this a rating out of 5, but instead of stars, I'm going to use Christmas trees to give it an extra Christmassy feel. So I'm going to give it 4 Christmas trees out of 5, because I really did like this episode. I think it was a really strong episode. Maybe not perfect, which is why I haven't given it 5, but I think it was a really strong one for Bill as a character, and I really liked how it was all brought together. So yeah, that is my review for Doctor Who Thin Ice. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, why not consider subscribing down below and liking the video, and why not tell me your thoughts on this episode? I'd love to hear them in the comments section down below. So see you in the next video, and goodbye.